Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. Today's guest on The Glitter Effect is someone who radiates compassion, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to supporting others, especially those doing it tough in our rural and farming communities. Tina Kendall-Davies is a powerhouse in the counselling space with over 2 decades of experience helping people navigate grief, trauma, and mental health challenges. She's the heart behind Anytime Counselling, an incredible platform that offers connection and care to those who often fall through the cracks. Whether it's through a late night call with someone who has nowhere else to turn or quietly walking alongside families in crisis, Tina's work is proof that showing up with empathy and consistency can change lives. She's seen the raw, real side of the human experience, and yet she continues to lead with warmth, courage, and a sense of hope, all while championing the people in our most remote communities. Tina is most definitely a glitter spreader, and I can't wait to dive into her story. Tina Kendall-Davies, welcome to The Glitter Effect.
Kate, thank you so much. That was lovely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to have you. And look, I know you're super busy, so we're going to dive straight in to this chat. Can you take us back to the very beginning? What led you into the world of counselling, and what was your turning point moment where you knew that this was your path and this is going to be your thing?
I'm very much a people person. I like working with people. I like being with people, which is funny because when my world's too big, I actually like being alone. But when not on a normal day-to-day basis, I really enjoy working with people. And I think I had a real interest in teaching. I had a real interest in helping people. I always wanted to be a school counsellor, but when I started doing that, sort of the goalposts shifted a little bit, and I ended up teaching for a long time. Then I ended up retraining into counselling, and they just sort of collided and they went together so well. And then I got very frustrated with the education system. There's heaps of ways you can help kids that aren't embraced. It was very frustrating to see things that could be done that you couldn't do because people with not much understanding of how a classroom works were the ones that were able to make all the calls as to how it should work. So I decided that I would leave and go into full-time counselling. I did my face-to-face version, which I'd never advertised, just went bananas all by itself. And so I was finding I was spending less and less time at home with my kids and more time in the office because I hate letting people down. And the days were just getting longer and longer. And then there was a particular day where a lady rang. Her son had attempted the day before or the night before. She was in floods of tears. She'd rung everybody. She couldn't get in anywhere for 6 to 8 weeks. And she said, I don't know if I'll get him through the next 24 hours. There's no way I can get him through the next 6 to 8 weeks. And that was, we'd sort of had in the back of our minds, do we build out the counselling business? Husband's a builder. Do we build out a building business? Do we build out the counselling business? What are we going to do? And then that night, so I just really felt for this family. And so when I finished work, and I think I finished about 8 o'clock that night, I said to them, come in when I finish, which meant I didn't get home till about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I just sort of was exhausted, and I sat on the couch and I just said to Chris, let's do it. This is crazy. People can't get in and it's not okay. And that was sort of the catalyst. It sort of bubbled away for a long time. And then that's the one that threw us over the wall and said, yeah, let's commit, let's do it.
And why rural and remote communities? Why did you touch on that space?
Oh, I grew up on a farm. I grew up in a small community. It was great, loved it. But there's a big misunderstanding of what living on a farm is like. Excuse me, of what living on a farm is like. And it's hard. And the resources just aren't there. You want to do something, you've got to come off the farm. So even if you had a doctor's appointment, you're at work by the time the sun's come up. So you're always filthy by the time office hours start. So you'd have to come home, you have a shower, you get changed, you go into town. So anything you need to do off the farm is a full day. Therefore, it really needs to matter in order to make it worthwhile getting off the farm for the day, because it's a lot of time lost. And so people really struggle to prioritize themselves because it's just the jobs lifts. It never ends. It doesn't matter how hard you work. There's more to be done. My dad had a massive heart attack that I believe, and his final report said his heart had just been under too much stress for too long. My firm belief is that if he had had counselling, we would have had him. There is no way in hell my dad would have accessed a counsellor, none whatsoever. He was too strong, too tough, too old school for that to ever be a consideration. So it became really important to me that the people who really need it, I mean, everybody, my theory is that every single person should have a counsellor. There's so much going on in our world. There's so much going on in our head. It just gets hard fast. If you've got someone who you consistently check in with once a month, you can stay on top of a lot of that clutter in your brain. You can stay on top of a lot of those emotions that build up. We don't do that. We don't prioritize ourselves. And so that's why, the straw that broke the camel's back, you see these huge reactions or you see these massive breakdowns. That could be, relationship breakdowns, personal breakdowns, working breakdowns that never needed to come to that if we had had ongoing support. And people see counselling as something where there's got to be something wrong with me. I need to be fixed. That's not true at all. You don't need to have anything wrong. Life is life, and sometimes life just eats us alive. And if we can stay in front of that, then we can alleviate a lot of the things that actually chew us up and spit us out that never should have. Rural, regional areas, they just don't have choice. They don't have access. Their waiting lists are crazy. They don't have the space where they can very privately turn up and access and then go home. People see the vehicles. They know the vehicles. They see people in. So I just wanted to create something that gave everybody fair and equal access. I think sometimes because there's a lot of access in more condensed areas, the more city regions, they forget that that's just simply not the case.
And how we're going completely off script here.
Oh,
with
sorry.
All that.
I'm really good at that.
I am, because I've got lots of other questions. I've got my questions in front of me and it's now we're going off. So how, with the stigma attached to mental health, it's a big thing. And we know that, in the farming and rural communities, it's probably exacerbated as well. How are you getting through to people to say, we're here, we can help you? Because it's one thing offering the support, but it's then actually getting people to come to you, correct?
100%. And I think there's been a real shift in the conversations. It's more normal now to talk about it, sort of, go back a few years and that was absolutely not okay and people would not embrace those conversations. Now they will. My belief is, though, we're at the stage where a lot of people are comfortable saying, oh, yeah, mental health, 100%, it's really good. You do it, not me, I'm fine. I don't need it. But you do it, that's great. So we're getting people to the next stage of accepting that it's acceptable for everybody else, just not me. I don't want to do it because I don't want to look weak or I don't want to be seen to have something wrong with me. I really want to change that narrative from mental health being the same as, you hit whatever certain ages and the medical system's all saying you need regular checkups, stay on top of it. If we can get in front of these things, if we catch it early, we really need to throw mental health into that conversation as well and start saying, get in front of it. There's no reason we should be buried under our own stresses when we've got such simple ways of staying on top of them. I think too, building the narrative that every single experience we have is filtered through our mental health. So it's absolutely key that we drive that to a level of understanding where people could go, hey, if I'm in a really good space, I have a much better time. I have a much better day. I have much better results. I have a much better outturn. If businesses start seeing, if I'm embracing mental health in the workspace, then I'm really enhancing what my people can produce and deliver. If we start putting mental health as the core of our existence rather than some bolt-on effect on the sidelines of maybe I better tick that box, we can really change how everything functions. If we've got parents that go to work, and be that on the farm or be that in the office, and their head is not buried in the stresses and the clutter of life, they can come home, and when their kids come home, they're not already burned out. I mean, I do it. Your kids come home like, oh, for the love of God, I love you, but leave me alone. I need a break. And so our kids are getting this message of go away. I don't want you around me. It's not the message we're intending to deliver, but it's the message they're receiving because we're already maxed out by the time we get home. I've spoken about before, we had this she was brilliant, but she would come in and just dump, and she would lose them. Oh, I hate this, I hate that, blah, 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 blah. And she'd, say all the stuff about the kids and say all the stuff about the husband and say all these things and then leave with all of that off her shoulders. So it never went home. It never needed to be said in an anger outburst or a frustration outburst because it had already been said. And it was a beautiful marriage and she was a beautiful parent. But she took the space to go, rah, 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 dump it all and then not take it home. And I really admire that. I think there's so much value. It's not a place of judgment. It's a place of safety. Whatever happens in that space, it's to help you march forward in your own space. It's not about, ticking a box or doing it right or doing it wrong or anything like that. So if we can continue to build a narrative where the healthiest thing you can do is look after your mental health first, you can get in front of a lot of physical ailments. You can get in front of a lot of unnecessary arguments, breakdowns, like we said before, relationship breakdowns, all those sorts of things. It would be really fabulous to see a twist in how people see it.
And when did you set this up? When did you officially set Anytime Counselling up?
So we launched with the COVID because why not?
Why not? Oh,
it was never supposed to be like that. When we started building, it was going to be a 4-month build. When we started building and realised that we were building something that actually didn't exist, there was nothing there that we could sort of take the bones and build it out. We had to actually build the bones as well. So it took us 19 months. So that was fun. And then COVID sort of came along, do we, don't we? Thought, you know what, let's do it. COVID-1 actually really, really helped us because it proved to a lot of people that online is okay.
Yeah.
Because COVID forced people online, it really helped people embrace that space of going, well, actually, I can do it. It's not that hard and it does work. COVID-2 really ate us up and spat us out because the government stopped helping people financially as much. Yep. And so people said, well, I don't know where my money's coming from. So they stopped spending.
Yeah.
So we decided to embrace COVID.
Yeah, good on you.
It's an accident, but it happened.
But you know what? And at what point did you realise this has legs? What was that moment? Was there a turning point for you that you went, yep, I'm going to grow this, or just let it go?
It sort of grew its own legs and ran away, which was really exciting and quite terrifying at the same time because when I built Anytime Counselling, I built it for Dad. And Dad was the person who never would have gone to see a counsellor ever.
Yep.
So every time we created something, I'd look at it and go, no, Dad wouldn't have done that. So we have to change it. No, Dad wouldn't have done that. So we have to change it. And in the build, one of the guys involved, he turned around and said, this is never going to work, Tina. You're building for the impossible client. And I did sit on that for a little while and go, oh, that actually makes sense. But I was like, oh, it's not the point. I need this. Dad needed something. And if he had had it, we'd have him. What's the thing that he needed? So it just kept evolving. Eventually we got to a point and go, well, there's actually no excuses left for Dad. He could have done this.
Yeah.
And that's when we're like, right, I think we're ready. So we launched, and because we had accidentally built for the impossible client, we had all these people saying to us, well, can you do this? And we're like, well, yeah. Can you do this?
Okay.
Yeah. Can you do this? Well, yeah. So we actually ended up meeting all these markets that we never even intended to look at. But the market kept coming to us saying, well, what about this? What about that? And so like, well, yes, yes, yes. And then, that's where its little legs grew. And then it went bananas. I'm like, oh, wow, what have we got
That's
here?
great. So how many counsellors do you currently have?
So we've got 17 that are active. We've got 198 sitting there wanting to join. We sort of had to say, we need to build up we need to build up the clients. Look, I really don't like letting people down. So we want to look after our counsellors the same way we look after our clients. And it's really important to us. We look after the counsellors really, really well so that they only have to look after their client. When you're working in private practice, there's all the bolt-on expenses that go with running any business. But there's also the, which is the same as any business, but the unpaid accounts, the client no-shows that you never get paid for, those sorts of things. So we've protected all of that. So the counsellor gets paid regardless. They don't have to do any of the paperwork stuff that goes with it. All they have to focus on is their client and what they're legally required to do with their client.
Yep.
And we do all the rest. So whilst the rate is lower than what you get in a private rate, when you break it all down, they're actually getting paid really well, which to us works because we want them to give the client the absolute best. So, yeah, we got flooded by counsellors, which we weren't expecting that either.
Yeah.
And so we've got a list there now, and then as it grows, we just add more counsellors, and we just go with the flow.
Which is a good problem to have, right?
It's a great problem to have.
Now, so with the shift to online counselling, as you said, you've opened the doors to people who might otherwise feel too isolated to reach out, or too embarrassed, I suppose is one word. Some people, or pride might get in the way. What are you most proud of when you look at the impact you're making?
I love the different ways people are utilising it. We had a mum who is a business owner, and and like the 5 a.m. morning and the miracle morning and those 4-hour work weeks, and they've got great advice, but it's so hard to implement it, especially when you've got all these other pressures that are pulling on your time.
Yeah.
So she rang one day and she goes, "Oh my God, I love this," because it was really important for her in the morning to walk. That was part of her routine, but then she wanted to get some support as well. And so, well, where do I fit it all in? One thing, I've only got so much time. When I do this, I have to, forego something else. And so she would walk and talk. And so she'd have her counselling while she's doing her morning walk. She used to walk 5Ks around her farm. And I don't know why, but that really sat with me going, it's just so flexible. And the point was, when I built it, it was so you can sit on the header and have professional counselling. You can sit on the tractor and have professional counselling. You can be moving the stock and have professional counselling.
Yep.
You didn't need to stop your life. But I never thought of it outside of the farming scenario. And so to have, and yes, she was living on the farm, but she had a business that had nothing to do with the farm. To hear it being used like that was actually really quite exciting. I thought, wow, we can really tick. There was another person who they had a very high profile job in the city, and she relied heavily on support, but she was never able to access it because she only got an hour for lunch. And she said, it takes me an hour to drive anywhere. By the time I travel, I don't have much of my hour left. So she would go and sit in her car and have her session and then go back to work. But it never had to step outside her lunch hour. So she didn't need time off work. She didn't need to change anything else. She could fit it in. And we don't care if you want to sit there and eat your lunch. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then I think too, we had some people who found leaving home really difficult, and to be able to say to someone, sit in your pajamas, hug the cat. The cat's become a big thing for us because of this flight. Sit in your pajamas, hug the cat, and drink your coffee and sit with us. Like, we don't want to invade your life. We just want to fit into it.
Yeah. Gosh, it's so good. And so I know you call it Anytime Counselling. It's exactly that, right? It's anytime.
Anytime, 100%. So we already operate quite significantly outside of the traditional office hours. We are looking to organically go 24/7. Because we try and look after our counsellors so well. We are saying to them, you choose when suits you best to deliver your services.
Yep.
And so we get people with really great experience who have also got lives like the rest of us.
Yep.
And they're like, do you know what? It actually suits me better to work from 10 till 2 in the morning.
Perfect.
We had one lady, who she had kids with additional needs. Mm-hmm. So she needed to be available during school hours.
Yeah.
So the way she operated was she would get her kids up, get them to school, sleep, because if school rang, she could go, get them home, get them settled, get them fed, get them to bed, and then she'd work through the night because she'd effectively slept through the day.
Okay.
So that worked for her. And then we're very, people do as they, the counsellors, they're all registered, they're all trained, they're all professional, they've all got experience. So they tick I call them the boring boxes. They tick all the legal boxes. But we really take people on personality. And so they have to be a right fit for the team. We understand that no one person's perfect for everybody. That's why we have such an array. jump on, you work with this person, you don't like them, just change. It's
Okay.
not a personal opinion. It's you need to connect. If you're not connecting, you don't owe us anything.
Yeah.
Find the person you connect with. We can help you with that. You can just work your way through if you like. Um, our goal is that the person you choose is the person who's perfect for you, but it's not always going to be that way.
Mm.
And that's just a personality thing. No one person's perfect for everybody. So we really try and open that up. But yeah, so we're really trying to just open the space and go, what works best for the counsellors means that they deliver their best service to the client. And that's what really matters to us, is that the clients get what makes them feel best.
And that's a huge issue with the wait times and the wait lists across the country and the world even. So for you to step outside that almost cookie cutter approach is huge. I think it's very brave.
Yeah, thank you.
But courageous and everything. But I think, it makes you wonder of why no one's done it before now, when we're really in a crisis with mental health. You go, it's great. I think what you're doing, people will jump on it.
No, I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. We try, because it's really important that you meet people where they're at. We do have a very box ticking approach to too much in life.
Yeah.
And it's really not okay to say to some people, here's who you can have and here's when you can come, make it work.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hang on, but if they really can't make it work, we can't punish them for that. That's not okay. They've got a full life as well. That might work best for you as a provider, but what about the person who needs to take up that service? We have to actually meet their needs as well. So it was just about reducing the barriers and opening it up so that people had choice and they had control. And I think that's fair, that everybody gets that. That's not an exceptional request. That's just mainstream common understanding.
It sounds common sense, but like I said, no one's done it before now. So lead the way, Tina. Lead the way.
Let's do this. Let's see the changes.
So what have been the biggest learnings, or I suppose surprises, that you've learned about yourself as you've built this incredible platform over the years?
Very much as the people person, and I like, I've got a teaching background, I've got a counselling background, and then all of a sudden you're running a business, and that was very foreign. I always call myself the accidental CEO because I really did not know what that even entailed. So it has been a journey.
Yep.
I think possibly there's been an uncountable amount of days where at the end of the day I'm going, I'm done. I can't do this. I'm out. I'm done. This is too hard. But then by morning you get up and you show up again and all that's gone and I'm fine.
Yeah.
So it's, just the ability to keep going, oh my God, this is too much. I can't do this. And then by morning it's like, no, we're good. We need to get this done. We need to get this out there. We need to make sure that people are okay. So yeah, but it's incredible the amount that is built into what you actually have to do and what it takes to get a business moving. It's been really difficult every time we talk about the business, it's, oh my God, that's amazing. That's perfect. Everybody, oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. But then the uptake didn't reflect that initially. And of course, me not being that business head, I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? Have we done it wrong? Did it not? But unfortunately, in our space and in the online space, there's been a lot of scrupulous people that have burned people's trust.
Yeah.
And so I'm a trust giver. I'm someone who, you need to burn me to lose my trust. You have it until you take it away. That was really tough. It's like, but we're trying to help. So how come this is happening? So it's frustrating to see people, and not necessarily just mental health, like this is across the board. It's frustrating to see people as targets rather than as humans.
Yeah.
And to try and humanize the process and go, no, we actually really do care and we really want to make a difference and we really want to make this work for you. And it's so important that this is beneficial for you and that you as a complete unique individual get out of it what you need. It's been really hard to overcome preset barriers that aren't ours.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it's been a journey. Every day throws different things at you and you work out what to do with them.
But what else would you possibly be doing with your time, hey?
Exactly. There's just so much of it. I just, what else could I be doing?
Yeah, that's
Relax.
You don't strike me as the sit and twiddle your thumbs kind of girl. So.
No, it's funny. I sit down there and the kids go, "Do you want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Yes, let's watch a movie together." I'm about 10 minutes in going, "Oh my God, I could be doing this and this and this. And take this over and you're doing this." Like, "Oh, mum." It's like, I'm
Well, as
just
they say, don't
not my
they?
thing.
If you want something done, ask a busy person.
True, true. Yes.
Now, a little bit more lighthearted now. Obviously, this is called the glitter effect, and we talk about people who spread their glitter, which you are one of the top glitter queens with what you're doing and spreading your glitter. But in order to get to this point in your life, there's always people that have influenced you along the way. Who has been like your glitter king or queen, or you could have kings or queens, who's left a trail of inspiration for you?
Do you know, there's a few. Obviously, the mum and the dad scenario was sort of the fire that
Yeah,
got it all going. And then um, I met some people. Jules Brooke runs retreats. I went on a retreat and it was funny. My brain said no, my gut said do it. And so I went with
yeah,
my gut, best thing ever. Met the most incredible women over there. Strategic partnership came out of it with Ida Side, which is just brilliant. So Rochelle has had a massive story. This is why she's built Ida Side. She's been fantastic because it keeps you in that space where other people are battling down the same journey and they're doing it for the same reasons. You think, oh, sometimes it feels quite isolating. I'm not the only one. And sometimes it's nice just to get on there and go, oh my God. And
yeah.
then you get on there and she'll have some big wins and then you feel like, oh, that's amazing. So you can sort of celebrate her wins and it picks you up. Shelley McElroy from Dream Culture, she is just this incredible ball of positive energy that just continuously gives and feeds. And she's a beautiful soul. So she's another one too. You sort of sit back and go, oh, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know why I'm doing it and I've lost my way. And then you just 10-minute chat with Shell and it's just like, oh, back. I don't know. It's an incredible journey that brings a lot of people in. You do get a lot of, you get your negative feedback to people that can't help but try and drag you down. And
Mm-hmm.
that can hurt when you're already struggling.
Yep.
You don't show people when you're struggling. So it can hurt when that sort of happens. But then you've got these other people on the sidelines that can really just boost you back up again. And so, yeah, look, there's heaps of people I could mention, but there's a few
That's
that stand
nice.
out.
Yeah, it's
It's
always
really lovely.
it's an interesting question because everyone's got such different answers, and it just depends on that moment in time as to what your inspiration is. So there's no one person ever. It's just I
Yeah.
always think it's very interesting how people think how they get to where they are today. Now, near almost wrapping up, it's what's one simple thing in that we could all do today that will help create a safer and more supportive community that we live in, whether that's in the city, in the bush, or anywhere in between? What's one thing we can all do?
In all honesty, we need to reconnect. We are so connected now that we're completely disconnected.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
sounds ridiculous, but I have no idea. I wish I paid more attention so I could, hand out due credit. But an artist did a picture of us a couple lying in bed, their backs to each other, and they're both on their phones.
Mm,
And I just went, it's so true. And then there was another one that came through on Facey, which actually hurt my heart. It was there was a mum sitting there on the phone, and there was a kid sitting there holding a sign going, you're doing that for later, but I'm here now. But the kid was
mm,
trying to get mum's attention. And I think we've really lost the art of incidentally catching up with people. I was talking with someone the other day and she's lived in the same house for 8, 10 years, has never met her neighbour from two doors down. They know who they are, but they haven't actually said, hi, my name's so-and-so, my name's so-and-so.
yeah,
We don't, I can remember as a kid, mum and dad would go and play tennis and all the parents would play tennis. Not that they could play tennis, it was
mm,
fun and silly, or some of them could play. And then you'd take food and the kids would just roam the town.
yeah,
And then you'd come back. So you're always hanging out with kids of all different ages, just community kids. We don't do that anymore.
yeah,
There's so much that just doesn't happen. That's that connection. People need to be seen. People need to be heard. We need to recreate the spaces that let that be the case. So maybe instead of emailing, pick up the phone. Instead of texting, send a voicey.
mm,
Do that random. I've got a bottle of wine or juice or whatever. Have you got toast? I'm coming to yours, or you come to mine. Go that sporadic. Do you know what? I don't feel like cooking. Let's go down to whatever and get the kids fish and chips and have lunch at the park. I mean, just on Sunday, just gone, my mum rang me and she said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Cleaning the house," which I was filthy about because I hate cleaning. And I feel like I'm wasting my only downtime cleaning. So I was already dirty. And she rang me and she said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, cleaning the house." And she said, "The ute needs a run," because she's still got Dad's ute. And she said, "The ute needs a run." I thought I'd drive out because, she's 50 Ks away. I thought I'd drive out, give the ute a run. I was like, "Yeah, do that. That's fine." Anyway, she came out and all of us, well, then we were all doing nothing. And it was this beautiful day. So she brought her dog. So we loaded up the kids, loaded up the dogs and I just made a quick salad, literally just dumped the fridge in a bowl salad and a couple of sandwiches. And Emma had made some cupcakes. I threw those in. We just went down to a little dam that's sort of not far away and sat in the sun for a couple of hours while the dogs swam. The kids went for a wander. Mum and I sat there eating like fridge salad.
Beautiful.
And it was so simple, so easy, not on the radar, but such a nice day. Cleaning didn't get done. It's still all over the place, but such a nice day. And we just don't do it. I never would have done that unless sort of mum just turned up basically. And it was great. It was just what we all needed. And even the animals needed it. Like they needed to get out of the backyard. And it was just so good. And we've lost the art of just doing it. Just connect, be with the person face to face, ditch the screens, I'll send a quick text. Where's the voice? Where's the vision? Where's the person? Like poke them on the shoulder. If you can't poke them on the shoulder, then find a way to be close enough to someone that you can poke them on the shoulder and say, "G'day, how are you? Here I am. Here are you."
And it's funny,
Connect.
We have the same conversation, my husband and I, spontaneity, exactly that. Everyone says I haven't got time, but you can make time. And it's just relearning that. But you're right. I think we've just been programmed to just be busy now and nothing else. It has to be, unless it's in the electronic calendar, it's not going to happen. But
it doesn't happen. And a lot of that is jobs, needs. Where are the wants? Where's the bit that we want to do? It's all, I actually heard ages ago of this couple. They're really fun. And I actually think everybody should do this. So let's all lock into doing this. So all month they save their coins. So all the coins get chucked in a bowl. And then at the end of the month, they go out for dinner. They're limited to whatever coins can afford. So if it's $20, they have to stick to $20. If it's $150, they can spend $150. But they have to pay with the coins. So they go to these restaurants, and if it's been a big month or whatever, and they've got this, so they go to these, and that's part of the game. They go to these decent restaurants, but they have to pay with the coins.
I love that.
No, and it's just sometimes I think in a big way we've forgotten how to be silly, and it's part of that spontaneity. We've forgotten how to just be humans that are having fun. Go out and have fun. So save your coins and go out for dinner and pay. And they literally sit there and it's like, "Oh, here's your $122.50. 2, 4,
and then someone has to count it.
$6.25.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. That's great advice.
Let's all go out for dinner and pay with coins. I think do cool stuff.
Beautiful. And last thing, Tina, if anyone wants to find out about Anytime Counselling, what you do and your services, how do they do that?
So reach out. We're on all the socials. Where if you go onto our website, which is just anytimecounselling.com.au, there's a little form. Click that. Reach out. We can reach back out to you. Jump on. Have a look. Email. Whatever you need to do. We're very comfortable with whatever's most comfortable for you. It's great for us. We can work with that.
Amazing. You are doing such an incredible job. Tina, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining me on The Glitter Effect today. Your openness, honesty, and raw vulnerability has been nothing short of powerful. And I know our listeners are going to take a lot away from our chat. You've taken us behind the curtain of the incredible work you do, not just as a counsellor, but as a quiet force of hope for so many people, particularly in our rural and farming communities. Conversations like this remind us just how important it is to keep talking openly, honestly, and without shame about mental health, grief, isolation, and the very real challenges people face every day. Because when we talk, we connect, and when we connect, we heal. You've reminded us that glitter doesn't always look like sparkles and sunshine. Sometimes it's a steady presence, a listening ear, or showing up in the darkest moments. Thank you for sharing your story so generously today and for all the ways you continue to light the path for others. I wish you all the very best with what lies ahead, Tina. Take care.
Kate, thank you so much. And thank you for your wonderful podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate this time. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Ganneil, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.